Hi friends, it's Nancy from nancyfurbshares.com. Today I have a cute fancy fold for you called an envelope card. I am going to be using the Sentimental Christmas 12 by 12 designer series paper. When you purchase this pack of paper, a $3 donation goes to the Children's Literacy, and that's a great thing for the holidays. So let's get started. On the back of your designer series paper, it lists the coordinating colors so you can be perfectly matched. This one needs Poppy Parade, which is a little brighter than real red. And here are the measurements I'm going to use so you can follow along. The base card is 1/4 of a sheet, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's just standard. Next, we're going to cut a square, and this is going to be 3 7/8 square. So here's your 4 mark. There's 4 3/4, so 4 7/8 is right there. I know you can figure it out. It's not hard. And this is going to be square, so you want to rotate and use the same marking. Okay, this piece needs to be folded, so we are going to line up 2 opposite corners with the track and score corner to corner, and then that will fold very nicely for us. We also need designer series paper and a white sheet for the inside, and that's going to be 3 1/2 square. So I am going to just cut this at the same time. Designer series paper is pretty thin, and you can cut several of those at a time, but this is a cardstock and a designer series paper 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and this needs to be cut corner to corner. Whenever you're cutting a triangle, you want to start with a square, and so this would be a perfect card for a twofer, which means making 2 cards at one time, because as you cut these squares, you'll get the perfect triangles, but you'll have 2 of them. So I'm going to set this aside, and I will make another card because I don't want to waste it. Alrighty, now let's assemble. So this is our base card, and this is going to go just like this to make it look like an envelope. So we need to burnish this now that we've scored it. Give it a good rub so that it lays flat and it has a nice straight ridge on the inside, nothing crinkly. And then inside, we'll put one of our triangles. When I'm doing a triangle, I like to just put a dot in each of those little corners because that is kind of hard. You don't want to get too much liquid glue in there because you'll ooze out. This is going to butt up to that score mark, just like that. And I see just a tad there. I'm going to wipe off with my fingernail. So this is the inside, and this will be the front. So repeating the process, just a little dab of glue, a really small little dot in each corner because those are kind of thin points. You don't need a lot of adhesive for designer series paper because it's thin and lightweight. And then this is going to go on the front. So you're going to get it down exactly in the point, and it's going to go all the way to the top of the fold. And this Tombow liquid glue lets you slide it around till you get it right precisely where you want it. I like to kind of make sure it's up to the edge. Alrighty. Then plenty of adhesive on the back of the triangle. This is going to get attached, and this will be a movable part. So I'm going to put a little more adhesive on here than I would normally do. When I'm lining up like this, I like to butt it up next to my fingernails. That gets it right to the edge. Make sure it's right where I want it to be. Give it a minute to set up. And you can see our envelope coming into play now. A little too much adhesive. Now, to hold this flap down, I have a sentiment on here, and then I mounted it on some glimmer paper. I just really think glimmer paper jazzes it up for Christmas. Since this will be holding down the flap, it needs a little extra adhesive, so I put tear and tape on the very ends of this piece. This piece, the size can be flexible because you might have a different sentiment, but this entire thing is 1 1/4 inches wide. Now, when I'm lining this up, I want the edge of this at the edge of the DSP, of the Designer Series paper. It only needs to be tucked under just a little bit, probably about 1/4 inch. And you open it like that, and then you tuck it back. Okay, so that's our card. Now let's add a little more embellishments. I love these red and white peppermints. Aren't they adorable? They're like the cutest little embellishments. And I think I want to use a large one on either end here. That's going to add a little pop of color, and I think it repeats like the red and white there, and then we're going to do some red and white on the envelope too. I have some extra samples to show you, so stick with me. I want that one in just a little farther. There we go. Aren't those the cutest little candy things? They're good enough to eat. So that's our finished card. It didn't take long at all, but you know me, I like to have a finished look on the envelope also. So here we go. We are going to cover the envelope flap. When you cover the envelope flap, I like to cut my Designer Series paper 6 inches by 2 1/4 wide. That gives you just enough to cut and not really too much waste. So you're going to line this up with the fold of the flap. You might want to be down just a 32nd of an inch. Press it, and that looks like candy too. Does it remind you of the old ribbon candy? I always thought it was so pretty, but it didn't taste quite as good as it looked. Alrighty. Now you simply flip the envelope over and cut off the excess. The envelope flap becomes its own pattern, and you hardly have any waste left, and that makes a very nice presentation. This is called an envelope flap, an envelope card, and your flap just tucks under just a bit right here. And that's a really cute fancy fold, something different. It's been around for a while, but it's always good to dig out those ideas. I hope you check out this Sentimental Christmas 12 by 12 paper that will donate $3 for children's literacy. Here's some more ideas. I love plaids, checks. They're just so cute. Merry Christmas to you. And I did the same glimmer paper there. And then here's one that is non-Christmas. This is Countryside Inn Designer Series paper. And that just has a little thank you and a coordinating envelope. And one more Christmas. Isn't this cute? This is Take a Bow 6x6 designer series paper and the holiday mini. Just tuck that under there, and I use those little peppermints again. I hope you'll try this really cute, easy, fancy fold. Make a card, send a card. It's a great way to put a smile on someone's face. Please visit me at nancyfurbshares.com. I have tips, tricks. You can shop there, or you can join my team. Thank you, and have a great holiday season.